Adams Oshomole, the recent embattled chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), has described the late chief of staff to the president Abba Kyari as a Nigerian true patriot, and he said he was the first to sell President Muhammadu Buhari candidacy to him, to sell the story of integrity to him. He said, I recall he was the first person that approached me in 2002 as the national president of Nigerian Labour Congress to sell Buhari's candidacy to the Labour movement. He invested his personal resources, energy, and wide contacts in the business world in the project. Mr. Oshomole said, Mr. Kyari had on March 23rd tested positive to novel coronavirus and died on Friday while on treatment at a medical facility in Lagos State. In a statement on Monday, Mr. Oshomole joined other leaders and Nigerians in paying tribute to the late Mr. Kyari. Recalling his interactions with the late presidential aide, Mr. Oshomole, who has not spoken to the media since the federal government issued the lockdown directive, said his relationship with the President Buhari right-hand man did not start with APC emergence as the all-ruling party, but earlier during his time as a Labour leader. Way back in 1973, we had found ourselves in opposing sides of the ISIL at Zamfara Textile in Kaduna. I was a leader of the Workers' Union, while he represented the management as admin officer. But in the many brushes the union had with the management, Abba Kyari showed a true character as a conscientious man, a true Nigerian patriot, by never failing to side with workers on the core issues of human dignity and fairness. Following our protest, he was the lone voice at the management meeting who spoke against the operation of two classes of canteen by the company. He was not afraid to state that having a uniform canteen for both management staff and junior workers was the only way to convince the junior workers that their meal was not inferior. Similarly, even though he was supposed to be on the side of the oppressor, Abba Kyari persuaded the management to incur extra costs by issuing all factory workers 2 pairs of personal protective uniform and safety boots. The amazing thing was that in pushing our case with management every time, Abba Kyari never sought to be seen or worshipped as a hero. For him, advocating for social justice was not a favor but a duty, Mr. Oshomole said. Abba Kyari was not only loyal to President Muhammadu Buhari, he was also faithful to friends through thick and thin. His sense of humor was phenomenal. I recall that whenever we met and I complained about the stress of running the office of national chairman was such that I had little time to socialize with old friends like him, he would tease me by saying, if a young man like you is complaining of stress as ordinary national chairman of a party, I wonder what you expect someone like President Buhari, who is running the entire country at his age, and with all he has been through since the 60s, is still making sacrifices today to say. Now, they normally say, do not speak ill of the dead. And I wouldn't expect less from someone such as this man. I wouldn't expect him to say anything less than that. He's definitely going to speak. After all, they're all members of the same party, notwithstanding what is on at the moment. A lot of people are not happy about the situation of the nation. None of the people in Nigeria, I don't know of you, have been ever happy. They've never been happy ever since they were born, at least when they came to realize themselves as humans. They realized that there are certain things that are not in place, and they realize that these people have the attitude and habit of always looting and stealing. They speak from two sides of their mouths. Even the man speaking here, Oshomole himself, it has been testified that in Edo State, where he was former governor, there weren't much done. They said he brought certain projects, but it's not as if the lives of the Edoites are far much more better. He had a rundown with his successor, and that is the man there, the governor, Godwin Obaseki. He had a rundown with him, and it became very aggressive, up to the point that he was about to lose the position as national chairman. So I guess he realized that The governor is not just somebody that he could toy with, just like how it is done in Lagos State, where Asiwaju Meg Bola Tinubu will just come up with something and they will kick out a governor without any much fight. So he thought he could do the same, but he realized that Edo State is a different ground play, and it wasn't just something that he could do. A lot of people are not buying what Oshiomhole is talking about. Nobody's buying any of that. They claim that he should just keep himself and pack to one side, that he's got nothing to say, that he's just a black rat, a sadist. They said he's stupid, and they're saying a lot of things about him, not me. I do not have anything to say to Oshiomhole. If you're from Edo State, you have much to say. If you belong to APC party, you should have something to say. If you believe in this government, you should have something to say. If you are an Hausa Fulani, you should have something to say. If Abba Kyari is your brother, your cousin, your relative, you should have something to say. But the truth of the matter is that we either we like it or not. If the government is dictatorial, if the government is a communist, if the government is transparent, if the government is what we have at the moment, it will affect everybody, notwithstanding if you care or you don't care about it. That's because government, our lives run around government. It is just not possible that every decision they make, every move they make affects you as a person. Because of the structure of the organ, if they decide not to care, you will be affected as a person. So it's a terrible thing happening right there. So he has said what he has to say as regards the dead, someone that is dead. People at times might want to say good things about them. Even Buhari said good things about Abacha that looted so much, and for over a decade they are still repatriating the funds Abacha stole and kept everywhere all over the world. We don't know the ones that are eating somewhere in some room somewhere that is now decay, money that is no longer in use. We don't know if the dollar, the pound, the euro has been changed and the money is somewhere in one room somewhere, decay without anybody knowing that the money is there. We don't know all these things. So he called him a good man. He said he's not a criminal. Why? Because Babangida incarcerated him and Abacha released him. So for him, Abacha is a good man, even though he stole all that amount of money. So that's where partiality comes. You see, it's as if it's just difficult for him. He would have died in prison. It's difficult for him to say this man is a thief. It's so funny, how is it possible for him to have opened his mouth to say such, that Abacha is not a thief? Abacha is a thief. If he came there, nobody asked him, he should have been in retirement. If he came there and said he's come to fight corruption, you have to call a spade, notwithstanding if the person helped you out of prison. That is a system in those days. It's a regime. They kick each other out, you kill each other, and you take over. That's a coup. That's how it's done. It's not a democratic process. So that's just what is expected. So I wouldn't know what he would have said differently anyway. So I think it's the same thing that is being said right now by this man. Some say the dead is celebrating the dead, that he himself is dead, is celebrating a dead person. That shows you that people have lost trust in government, lost trust in, it's no longer my tribe again, although there are people out there that are still playing a tribe card. It's from my tribe, it's an Igbo man, it's a Yoruba man, it's an Edo man, it's an Hausa man, Fulani man, is this, is Kanuri, is this, is Mbise, is Mbano, is this and that. People are not playing that any longer. People their eyes are open. They've come to realize that my brother, my sister, my cousin, my relative, my people, our people means nothing at all, because over time, a lot of people have not learned that service is government and not what we have right now. Rather, they are serving their own plate, serving their own pocket. And if you are strong enough, you're able to connect here and there, you might be able to get something there. If fortunately you find yourself there. So it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Well, I wouldn't expect him to have said anything different, as Oshiomhole himself, fighting for labor back then, and I don't see him, fighting for nothing at the moment. Immediately he became governor of Edo State, we saw that he was very, very rude and aggressive to a woman that is suffering. I thought, being someone that came from a very, humble background, should have at least connected to people that are suffering too. But although he made amends, he begged the woman. But what I saw there, being that his background, we're not talking of just ordinary person that came into politics, being a background of someone that said, I'm fighting for labor, I'm fighting for the people. I think he should have shown the truth of who he is. So for him to have done that little thing, maybe some might call that, I don't see it as little, I see it as big. There, it shows that most of these people, they are just humans that jump on opportunities. Well, I don't know whatever good he must have done for you there. Of course, he must have done one or two things here and there for people, but at the moment, what we are seeing being played out in Nigeria is not a good one at all. So he has said all good things about Abba Kyari. I don't know what you guys think of what he has said. Well, you can comment about that if you have something to say as regards this.